Hey guys, so I thought I'd show you guys the tomato stand really quick. So a lot of you guys were commenting before about how I didn't have a lot. Well, yeah, how about that? And all these tomatoes, I mean, I have stuff that's like excellent quality. I mean, like they're kind of split because that's just the variety. But I mean, I do have some that are just like absolutely blemish free. A lot of people were saying that, you know, they were disappointed that I somehow had like cracks in my tomatoes, and as if like that's not uncommon. But I mean, I got some cool misshapen ones. Here's the one with the nose. I might actually save seeds from that and see if I can get the mutation again. I don't know. But I do have like all of these. I mean, this is a huge container filled with tomatoes, and then these are all my premiums. I have like these ones that are, you know, slightly cat-faced, but other than that, I mean, it's a huge tomato. But then I also have like a striped German. These are striped Germans, and another striped German, and again a little cat-facing, but overall very blemish-free. I mean, like, look at this tomato. What is wrong with that tomato? Okay, Zoe? That's my dog. Zoe, hey, say hi. Gosh, she's a barker. But yeah, so I mean, like, that is just, I love stuff like that. That's a celebrity right there. That's a celebrity tomato. Also, quick tip, now that I'm here, you never want to store your tomatoes sitting on the butt end. You always want to flip them over. Sorry, a bunch of cars just went by. But you always want to flip them over on their shoulders because they will they'll store a lot longer. As you can see here, great quality. This is actually a big Zac tomato and very large, very, very beautiful. That's not a hole. That's just it cat-faced, and that's where the two tomatoes kind of formed together right there. But yeah, and then I also have some black Seamans and other stuff. So that's like the best. That's the best of the premium tomatoes. All right, so after I just chased my dog around the house about 12 times and finally got her back here. Oh, she's a handful. We have not seen this garden, well, you guys have not seen this garden in probably about 5 weeks, I just realized. So I'm terribly sorry for not showing you guys that, but a lot has been going on. As you can see, the 8-foot furring strips are officially surpassed by the massive wall of tomatoes. And I have a little herb garden started here. The herbs have been really rough to start. My cilantro didn't take. My basil is the only thing that's done really super well, and obviously the mint that's already been established. It's actually a little invasive, so I end up cutting it back every year. But nothing else really took very well. I don't know why. We have been in an extreme drought here. We got a little bit of rain for a period of time, but other than that, it's been pretty poor. But then I also have this little experiment here because I do like experimenting with stuff, just because I'm all for allowing people to grow food in any condition. And so I'm testing these two buckets here. And in this bucket right here, I have just strictly the garden topsoil, like zero, nothing added at all. I mean, it's just a potting mix that I grabbed at the store, and I wanted to see, without any nutrients added at all, if you could get some sustainable fruit without having to apply much effort. And really all I've done is water this about once a week, and I have cucumbers there. I have a lot more cucumbers coming on here. The plant looks great. It's not, you know, it doesn't look like it's nutrient deficient at all. So I'm guessing that cucumbers don't require a whole lot of nutrients to get started, because I literally just planted a couple plants in here and they just exploded. I mean, they're doing great. Likewise for this one, this actually has, for a comparison, this actually has horse manure and some worm compost in here, or worm castings, I might say. And there's actually, surprisingly, there's actually not a whole lot of difference. I've gotten 2 cucumbers off this one versus 1 off this one, so there might be a little bit of difference in fruit production. But as you can see, the leaf size is just about the same. I mean, they're both extremely healthy, it looks like, and they're both vining very well. They both have, well, I just harvested the cucumbers on this one, but I have 3 plants in each one. And so this one, you know, actually almost looks fuller than than that one. And there's nothing even in this one other than strictly just a potting soil and water, really. I mean, nothing has ever been added. And here at the first tomato bed, obviously, we were going to see some tomatoes. Probably could have guessed. The Oregon Spring, the Early Cascade has, again, you know, I like the fact that it's a nice kind of compact plant, but for the fruit size, I'm not sure if I didn't get the right seed or what. I mean, it's not my fault, but it's not that impressive of a plant. I mean, I've heard a lot about it. I've heard that a lot of people like it, but it's just not that impressive. I don't find it very good for my area. Now, it might be different for everybody else. I'm obviously still going to save seed, but just as a reference, I have not gotten a single tomato off of this plant. They just won't ripen. They stay the same color, and it's not a green tomato. They turn red. It's just they're not turning at all. I mean, it's been like 70 days at least, whereas the cream sausage and the banana legs have kicked it into high gear. I've harvested lots of tomatoes from them, and I have just massive clumps coming out. I mean, these are huge, finally kicking into gear. They're obviously a determinate variety, and I have 2 plants. Now, the cream sausages are a little bit taller. I do have some blossom end rot. I know, it's not calcium deficiency. I added a lot of calcium. It's just the heat. It's impossible to prevent blossom end rot completely because, you know, you can't water every second of the day, and I like to let my soil dry out a little bit so I don't have root rot. But overall, I don't have that much blossom end rot. I do have some production, doing great. I also see 1 ripe one in here, and I'll show you guys what they look like. Really neat tomato, really beautiful. I like that. Just a decent sized plum tomato. And there's actually another one down here too. Cool. Well, I guess that's going to go into a salad tonight. Now, the potato bed, I harvested all the potatoes from this bed at least, and they were pretty good. They were really soft, really tender, really sweet. I don't like to let my potatoes get super big and starchy. Just my preference. But these ones in this bed I will let get as big as they can possibly get. I just want to see, you know, what kind of size I can get from a raised bed garden. I've never really grown them always to full size. I always harvest them early because that's how I like them, which is good. I mean, that's one of the benefits of growing at home is you can harvest when you want. Now, the cabbage is doing phenomenal. There is obviously some bug damage, but I have that under control. And as you can see here, just a picture perfect head here, and then another just absolutely picture perfect head right there. Just beautiful. And then here, a little bit of outer leaf damage, but once you get inside here, I'm gonna set these in my pocket, and once that's a fairly decent sized head of lettuce, or a head of cabbage. So it's actually not bad when considering that it's all organic and grown without any chemicals whatsoever. Then here is the, right here, I thought I'd show you this bed first. This is the striped German bed. I've got quite a few tomatoes off this already, and there's looking like there's gonna be a little bit more turning fairly soon. But as you can see, this is probably gonna be ready in about 3 days. But this is just a monolithic tomato, and there's lots more like that are coming on. I mean, there's one in there that's really decent size, and if you come down here, there's another there's another couple that are just very, very decent size. So I'll be saving seeds from these as well, because I think this is definitely a good variety to grow. They're very upright. I don't support them that much other than the furring strips, in which I actually have never even tied the tomatoes to the furring strips. They're kind of just self-supporting themselves up. And that's really great in my condition. These are the big Zacks. Now the big Zacks are getting absolutely monolithic. If I can show you here, this is really hard to show, but as you can see, this tomato is probably pushing about 1.5 pounds. It's hard to tell on the vine, but giving it a fair estimate, I mean, there's my hand and I can't, it's not even near ripening, and my hand can't even fit around the edge of it, so it's definitely a huge, huge tomato. And there's lots of them. I mean, there is just tons of tomatoes. There's one that's going to be ripe in about a day. There's plenty more coming on up here. Just absolutely loaded with tomatoes. I mean, just look at these clumps of tomatoes. There are so many in here. And even all the way through there, as you can see, there's just so many tomatoes. And this is the big Zack variety. There's also a couple here that are very beautiful, uniform shape, no blemishes at all. Hardly any cat facing, just a very, very tiny bit right there. But I mean, this one right here is much more uniform, and that's just a beast of a tomato. So they are definitely coming on there. Then here is the vintage wine. I've only gotten about one tomato off here out of this whole bed. They're a little bit later of a tomato, but the flavor is phenomenal. They're a classic red tomato, and I'm going to be getting another one fairly soon. This one's probably going to need at least another week or two, but this one's going to look like it's going to start ripening up. And there are some tomatoes in there. Not a whole lot. It's not a big producing tomato either. So if you want a big producing tomato, obviously keep that in mind for the 2013 seed giveaway, but that's not going to be a tomato for you. But if you like a great tasting tomato that's just part of a collection of yours, by all means, it's a fun one to grow. Now this sprawling mess here is, well, it's a sprawling mess. There's really no good excuse for it, but it's coming along great. I'm getting a lot of production in here, as you can see right there. Just plenty of tomatoes. I'm not getting many to ripen, but again, it's all in time. These are the giant Belgiums, so they're, again, a bigger variety of tomatoes. The cucumbers over here are doing phenomenal. They are finally kicking it into high gear and climbing all the way up. I have about, I think, 10 plants on this vine here. I like to keep them pretty close together because when you're growing them vertically, they don't crowd themselves out that much. And like you saw before, I have three cucumbers right in that little square pot, and they're doing excellent. So I'm not too concerned. I do have a little bit of a problem with the pollination, because I believe it was Ray that mentioned when it's super hot, you get like stale pollen, and the bees won't want to pollinate it, so you'll get these odd shaped like nipples on your cucumbers. But I keep them well watered, and I think they're going to kick around great. I do have a fair amount of them that are just now coming on, that are doing great. So that's also something you haven't seen in a while. And another thing is my monolithic hedge of zucchini and summer squash. These have done way better than expected. I had no idea that these would get this big. I mean, I've seen big plants, but in like a raised bed with not a whole lot of nutrients added other than that was already in there, they've done great. And I mean, like, there's my hand for a reference. And oh, hey Zoe, how you doing? But like, these are very large leaves, and again, not a whole lot of production. There's some coming on, but it's the heat. The heat is just affecting everything right now. I have some more cucumbers I threw in here. The onions fell over, got way too hot for them, and they just did not do well. So I harvested what I could. I got about 4 4 or 5 pounds in onions from what I did have, so that wasn't a total failure. Pretty good. And then I have my peppers here. These are finally kicking into gear. I harvested, I think, 12 peppers so far from this bed here, but there's not a ton of flowers. I'm not too impressed. I have been fertilizing with compost tea, but I mean there are some that are coming on, so I'm not disappointed, and there are some peppers right there. And these are the, oh gosh, they're a variety. I think they're, oh, right here, duh. They are a Anaheim chili. And the parsnips are doing excellent. They came back great after they got bit off by a deer. And my carrots, to say the least, are struggling. They don't like the hot, dry weather. I've been trying to keep them watered, but they've been kicking around. They've been doing better than they were. They probably need another shot of fertilizer. And again, I'm not a gardening god. I do know what I'm doing, but you occasionally have years like this where you just don't have things go the way you want them to go. And that's just how it rolls sometimes. So you got to roll with the punches and just work with it. Now over here, it's going good. I have lots of growth, have lots of tomatoes coming onto this little spot here. But what I'm really excited about is my Polish linguiças. They are doing excellent in this soil. They have adapted very, very well. I'm getting lots of more coming on. I've harvested 6 from there, and I do have another very large one coming on right there. And over here, I do have another one right there, and another very decent sized one right there. Again, not a whole lot of production, but I am getting some very nice sized fruit. There's another one, and another one, and again, the plant is just doing very, very well. So I couldn't be happier. So yeah, that's the garden update. Sorry I didn't have a whole lot to show. I will have a pretty exciting episode coming up. I'm not gonna leak it, but I am very, very excited for it. So I'll just kind of give you guys a little teaser there, and hopefully you guys will tune in next week for it. It's gonna be really fun and really exciting. So I hope you guys will tune in for that. And as always, this is MIgardener reminding you to grow big or go home. Catch you guys later. See ya. Bye.